The new viral TikTok trend that some users are calling a money glitch or free money hack, it's actually having some serious consequences.
Chase Bank is suing its own customers, thousands of them. Not criminals, regular people. The bank says they stole money. They didn't. A new wave of fraud is so advanced, Chase can't tell the difference between you and the scammer draining your account. And when the money disappears, they blame you, sue you, destroy your credit. 3 attack vectors are devastating Chase customers right now. One went viral and ruined thousands of lives overnight. Today I'm exposing exactly how these attacks work and the defense strategy that stops them cold. Stick around. This could save your account, your credit, and your sanity. Let's break this down. The glitch that destroyed futures. It started on TikTok, a viral whisper that turned into a roar in late August 2024. Chase has a glitch, they said. Free money.
Chase Bank has told people what they're doing is fraud after the hack went viral. The free money trend claimed that you could withdraw large amounts of money by handing in a fake check before it had time to be verified.
You might have seen the videos. Young people flashing stacks of cash, smiling in front of Chase ATMs, claiming they found a loophole. But for customers like a young man named Kevin from Houston, that loophole was a trap door. On August 29th, Kevin saw a video explaining how to deposit a check, any check, into a Chase ATM. The glitch was that Chase was making a portion of the funds available immediately before the check actually cleared. Kevin, struggling with student loans, deposited a fake check for roughly $30,000. He withdrew a significant portion in cash within hours. He thought he beat the system. He thought he found a secret code. By September 3rd, his account was locked. By October, his balance was negative tens of thousands of dollars. And by April 2025, Chase wasn't just asking for the money back, they were suing him in federal court.
We've got an update on a viral TikTok trend that's getting some people in big trouble with a big bank. JP Morgan Chase is actually suing customers who allegedly stole thousands of dollars by taking advantage of a technical glitch, allowing them to withdraw funds before a check bounced.
This wasn't a glitch, it was check fraud. Plain and simple. The bank's security systems eventually caught up, the checks bounced, and the free money became a federal debt. But here is the terrifying part. Criminals are now doing this to you without your consent. They are using a technique called mobile deposit capture recruitment. If a criminal gets your bank account number, often from a discarded statement or a data breach, they can deposit a fake check into your account remotely. Then they call you, posing as the Chase Fraud Department. Sir, we see an erroneous deposit of $5,000. We need to reverse this. Please authorize the reversal. You see the deposit sitting there. You trust the caller because they know about the deposit. You authorize the reversal. In reality, you are sending them $5,000 of your own real money via Zelle or wire. 2 days later, the fake check bounces. Chase deducts the original $5,000 from your account. You are now out $5,000. And because you authorized the transfer to the criminal, Chase often refuses to refund a dime. You become the victim of the glitch without ever trying to exploit it. You think this was just a mistake by a few greedy people? Let's show you how criminals are now making you the victim of this same scam without your knowledge or consent. The impersonation that bypasses everything. If you think you're too smart to fall for a fake check, this next method is designed specifically for people who are careful. It exploits your trust in the bank's own security protocols. Meet Tom and Ann Hill, a retired couple from St. Augustine, Florida. They had worked their entire lives to build their savings. They were vigilant. They knew about scams. On January 18th, Ann received a text message that looked exactly like a fraud alert from Chase. Did you attempt a wire transfer of $5,000? Reply yes or no. She replied, no. She did exactly what she was supposed to do. Immediately, her phone rang. The caller ID said Chase Bank. The man on the line was professional, calm, and knew her name. He told her her account was under attack and he needed to secure it. He spoke with the authority of a fraud investigator. He didn't ask for her password. He didn't ask for her PIN. He asked her to read back a code sent to her phone to verify her identity. Couple loses $42,000 in impersonation scam. Detective says bank shouldn't have authorized the transfers.
This is the one that triggers everything.
It started with a single text message on January 18th, 2024.
I got that message first, and then I didn't call that number. I called the number on the back of my debit card.
But that text set off a chain of events the Hills never saw coming.
In that moment of panic, Ann read the code. What she didn't know was that the man on the phone wasn't securing her account. He was logging into it. That code was the two-factor authentication key. By reading it, she handed him the keys to the vault. Within minutes, $42,000 was wired out of their life savings. When the Hills fought to get their money back, Chase denied the claim. Their reasoning? The transaction was authorized. The device used to log in was verified with a correct passcode. To the bank's computer, it looked like Ann moving the money. This is the Zelle/wire impersonation trap, and in 2025, it is the #1 reason Chase customers are losing their appeals. The scammers don't hack the bank, they hack your trust. While the first two methods require you to make a mistake, to deposit a check or read a code, this third method requires you to do nothing. Let me show you what this means. The silent drain, Android banking Trojans. In late 2025, cybersecurity firms detected a massive spike in a specific type of malware called ANATSA, or T-Bot, targeting banking apps on Android phones. Here is how it works. You download a PDF reader, a QR code scanner, or a phone cleaner app from the Google Play Store. It looks legitimate. It works perfectly. It might even have good reviews, but hidden inside is a dropper. Once installed, it downloads a second invisible update. This update grants the app accessibility services permissions, often by tricking you into clicking Allow on a confusing pop-up that looks like a system update. Once active, this malware waits. It watches. When you open your Chase app, it activates a keylogger. It records every tap, your username, your password. Then it waits for you to go to sleep. In the middle of the night, the malware wakes up your phone. It lowers the brightness to 0 so you don't see the screen light up. It opens the Chase app. It enters your credentials. It initiates a transfer. And when the bank sends a text message code to verify the transfer, the malware reads the text message, enters the code, and then deletes the text message before you wake up. Chase Bank reportedly sues TikTok's infinite money glitch fraudsters.
The fraudulent checks at Chase Bank and then proceeded to withdraw tens of thousands of dollars.
Oh, what?
You know, the glitch that wasn't a glitch at all? Well, now Chase, according to CNBC, is suing account holders and
This is not science fiction. In October 2025, ANATSA targeted over 600 financial institutions, with Chase customers being a primary target. Victims wake up to empty accounts and no record of any text alerts. The only evidence is the empty balance. Understanding the mechanics of these scams reveals a terrifying truth about modern banking infrastructure. The reason the infinite money glitch was even possible lies in a federal regulation known as Regulation CC. The mechanism of failure, why the banks are failing you. This law was designed decades ago to ensure that when you deposit a check, you aren't waiting weeks for access to your own money. It mandates that banks must make the first portion of funds from a deposit available by the next business day. It was a rule built for a world of paper and patience, not a world of instant digital arbitrage. When Timipe Ikemi, one of the defendants in the recent federal lawsuits, allegedly deposited a fake check for $335,000, the bank's automated compliance systems likely triggered the Regulation CC availability protocols. The system saw a deposit. It unlocked a portion of the funds. Ikemi, according to court documents, withdrew approximately $290,000 before the actual check, the piece of paper itself, could be verified as fraudulent by the issuing bank. This lag time, this float, is where the criminals live. They are exploiting the gap between the speed of digital transfers and the slowness of legacy verification. But for the innocent victim of the mobile deposit capture scam, this mechanism is weaponized differently. When the criminal deposits that fake check into your account, they are counting on you seeing that available balance spike. Your brain sees the number and assumes the money is real. It assumes the bank has verified it. You think, if Chase says I have $5,000, then I have $5,000, but you don't. You have a provisional credit that is about to evaporate. When you refund the scammer via Zelle, you are sending cleared funds, your actual savings, while the money you received is a ghost. The bank's interface lies to you by design, showing you money that doesn't effectively exist yet. Let's go back to Tom and Ann Hill in St. Augustine. We need to understand the level of sophistication they were up against because it dissolves the myth that only gullible people fall for this, the psychology of the Hill impersonation. The detectives who reviewed the Hill case found something chilling. When they listened to the audio recordings of the Chase representatives speaking to the bank to authorize the wire transfers, the voice didn't belong to Tom or Ann. It was a man with a distinct Caribbean accent. But here is the twist. The caller ID on the bank's end showed the call was coming from the Hills' home phone number. The criminals had spoofed the Hills' number to the bank while simultaneously spoofing the bank's number to the Hills. They sat in the middle, playing both sides like a conductor. When Ann Hill picked up the phone, the man wasn't just convincing. He was following a script refined by thousands of attempts. He used the specific lexicon of Chase security. He likely mentioned Regulation E protections or suspicious IP addresses from Miami. These details overload the cognitive capacity of the victim. Psychologists call this ether. It is a state of heightened emotional arousal where logic is suppressed by urgency. Mrs. Hill, we have blocked the transaction, but to permanently secure the vault, we need to verify your identity with the code we just sent you. Notice the language. Secure the vault. It positions the scammer as the protector, not the threat. By the time Anne read that code, she wasn't being careless. She was trying to be a responsible guardian of her family's future. The detective on the case stated unequivocally, "It is my professional opinion. There is no way that JPM Chase should have authorized the 2 wire transfers." Yet they did. And because the technical authorization, the 2FA code, was correct, the bank washed its hands of the liability. You might be wondering, how do they know my phone number? How do they know I bank with Chase? How do they know the last 4 digits of my debit card? What I'm about to reveal next will blow you out of your mind. The access broker economy. This brings us to the dark reality of the access broker economy on Telegram. There are entire channels with tens of thousands of subscribers dedicated to selling logs. These are not just lists of emails. These are cookies and session tokens stolen from your computer by malware you didn't even know you had. If you have ever saved your password in your browser, or if you simply clicked Remember Me on the Chase login page, a piece of malware like Redline Stealer or Raccoon Stealer can grab that session token. The hacker doesn't need your password. They don't need your username. They simply load your cookie into their browser, and the Chase website thinks they are you. They are already logged in. These logs are sold for as little as $5 to $10. Your life savings are being traded for the price of a sandwich. The criminals buying these logs aren't the geniuses who wrote the malware, they are the cash-out crews. They buy the access, they drain the account, and they move on. This industrialization of fraud means that the person attacking you isn't a master hacker. They are just a customer of a massive automated criminal enterprise. There is another layer to this that explains why the glitch lawsuit is so complex. Many of the accounts used to launder this stolen money are synthetic identities. Criminals have stepped up their game. Let's find out exactly what they're doing. The rise of synthetic mules. This is where the trail goes cold. This is why the money vanishes. Criminals aren't just hacking accounts. They are hacking the banking system itself by creating Frankenstein identities. They start with a seed of truth, a real social security number. But they don't steal it from a CEO or a wealthy investor. They steal it from the people least likely to check their credit reports: children, the homeless, or the recently deceased. They take that clean SSN and stitch it together with a fake name, a burner phone number, and a drop address. Then they play the long game. They don't strike immediately. They spend years grooming this digital ghost. They apply for a small store credit card. They pay it off. They get a gas card. They pay it off. Slowly, methodically, they build a 750 credit score for a person who does not exist. Then, they open a premium account like Chase Total Checking. To the bank's algorithms, this looks like a model customer. In reality, it is a synthetic mule, a perfect, untraceable bucket waiting to catch your stolen money. When they finally drain your account, the transfer doesn't go to a criminal hiding in a basement in Eastern Europe. It goes to Michael Davis in Ohio, the synthetic identity they built. By the time you scream fraud and Chase freezes the transaction, the money has already moved. Michael Davis has wired the funds to a crypto exchange, bought Bitcoin, and vanished. When investigators show up at the address on file, they find an empty lot or an abandoned house. Chase is left suing a ghost. But sometimes the mule is flesh and blood. And this is even more tragic. Criminals are actively recruiting desperate job seekers on LinkedIn and Indeed for payment processor or remote administrative assistant roles. These people believe they have found a legitimate job. Their first task? Receive funds from a client and forward them to headquarters.
While the stock market hit record highs yesterday, workers are getting destroyed. A college student with perfect grades just lost $4,300 to a fake job on LinkedIn. A woman with a master's degree lost $15,000 to scammers pretending to be recruiters. Jobs.
That client is you, the victim. The funds are your life savings. The employee unknowingly launders the stolen money, keeping a small commission before wiring the rest to the criminal. When Chase files a lawsuit to recover the funds, they aren't suing the mastermind. They are suing a single mom or a college student who thought they were working a data entry job. The money is gone, the mule is bankrupt, and you are left with zero recourse. But while synthetic mules make the money impossible to trace, the next threat on our list makes your personal device impossible to trust. We are moving from financial engineering to digital espionage, a malware so invasive it destroys your privacy before it touches your wallet. The silent night of the Android. The Anatsa malware threat represents the total erosion of privacy. We are used to the idea that our phones are personal, secure devices. But the accessibility service on Android is a backdoor the size of a barn door if you open it.
The Anatsa Trojan is a nasty piece of malware targeting Android devices. Anatsa is a type of malware called a banking Trojan. Its primary purpose is to steal your financial information. This Trojan can also take complete control of your infected device, allowing attackers to perform actions like making fraudulent transactions.
This service is designed to help people with disabilities navigate their phones, reading screen text aloud, tapping buttons for them. It is a noble feature. But when a malicious app like a PDF reader tricks you into granting it this permission, you have given it the power of a god over your device. It can read every word on your screen. It can tap every button. It can suppress notifications. Imagine this. You are asleep. Your phone is on the nightstand. The malware detects the gyroscope hasn't moved for 2 hours. It wakes the processor but keeps the screen pixels black. It opens Chase. It uses the credentials it recorded when you typed them in 3 days ago. It initiates a transfer of $4,500. Chase sends a text. Did you authorize? The malware reads the text via the accessibility service. It clicks yes on the pop-up notification. Then it deletes the text thread. You wake up, you check your phone, no missed calls, no text messages, just a notification from Chase that your balance is low. You check the app, $4,500 is gone, you call the bank. They say, we sent a text and you replied yes. You swear you didn't. They show you the logs. The logs say you did. Who does the arbitrator believe? The time-stamped log file or the customer who was asleep? This is the perfect crime because it creates digital evidence of your guilt while you are unconscious. But there is a transfer act that has been passed into law. It is time to hear about it. Why Regulation E is failing you. The Electronic Fund Transfer Act, known as Regulation E, was passed in 1978. It was designed to protect consumers from unauthorized electronic transfers. It says essentially that if you didn't do it, you aren't liable for more than $50 if reported within 2 days. But the definition of unauthorized is being weaponized. The banks argue that if you were tricked into giving a code, or if your device was used, even by malware, the transaction was authorized by the device you control. They are shifting the burden of cybersecurity onto the consumer. The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, CFPB, has been fighting this interpretation, issuing guidance that fraudulently induced transfers should be covered. But banks are fighting back, arguing that covering all scams would create a moral hazard where customers would have no incentive to be careful. This legal stalemate leaves you, the victim, in the crossfire. You are the collateral damage in a war between outdated regulations and futuristic crime. We have discussed the horror. Now we must discuss the defense. These are not tips. These are operational security rules you must adopt immediately. Each of these tips are going to blow your mind. Rule 1. The hang up and call back protocol. This is non-negotiable. If you receive a call from Chase, even if the caller ID looks real, even if they know your social security number, even if they play a recording of your own voice, hang up immediately. Turn your debit card over. Call the number on the back. Caller ID is easily spoofed. If it's a real fraud alert, the agent at the official number will see the notes on your account. If they don't see it, you just saved your life savings. Never trust the inbound call. Only trust the outbound call you initiate. Rule 2. Treat 2 FA codes like nuclear launch codes. Never, under any circumstances, read a 6-digit code to a human being on the phone. Chase employees will never ask for this code. The code is for you to enter into a screen. If a human asks for it, they are trying to log in as you. Memorize the phrase, "I do not share verification codes verbally." If they pressure you, hang up. Rule 3. The Android quarantine, or migration. If you use an Android phone for banking, you must be ruthless about app permissions. Go to settings greater than accessibility. If any app you downloaded, like a calculator, flashlight, or PDF reader, has access here, revoke it immediately. Better yet, use a dedicated device for banking. An old iPad or a cheap secondary phone that has 0 other apps installed, no social media, no games, no PDF readers, just the banking app. It is your digital vault. It stays in a drawer. It is never used for browsing. This air-gapped approach makes malware infection nearly impossible. Rule 4. The Zelle quarantine. Zelle is the most dangerous app on your phone because the transfers are instant and often irreversible. Do not use Zelle for buying goods on Facebook Marketplace. Do not use it for Craigslist. Do not use it to refund a stranger.
Oh, there's a federal action against 3 of the biggest banks, Bank of America, Chase, and Wells Fargo, for not providing consumer protections or restoring money when it's stolen out of somebody's bank account using Zelle. I want you to know that Zelle, because it does not have meaningful consumer protections.
If a stranger sends you money by mistake, tell them, "I cannot send it back." You must contact your bank to reverse the transaction. If you send it back manually, you are walking into the fake check trap. Let the banks handle the reversal. Rule 5. The morning audit habit. Malware strikes at night. The faster you catch a drain, the higher your chance of stopping the pending transaction. Make it a ritual. Coffee, log in, verify. You are looking for pending transactions you don't recognize. If you catch it while it is pending, you have a fighting chance. Once it posts, the money is gone. Rule 6. Set transaction alerts to $1. Go into your Chase app, profile and settings greater than alerts. Set it to notify you via push notification and text for any transaction over $1. You want your phone to buzz every time you buy a coffee. Why? Because when your phone buzzes at 3 a.m. and you didn't buy a coffee, you will wake up. You will know the second money leaves your account, giving you precious minutes to freeze your card. Rule 7. Freeze your credit. This prevents the synthetic identity fraud. Go to Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. Freeze your credit files. It is free. It takes 10 minutes. It stops criminals from opening a new Chase account in your name to use as a mule for someone else's stolen funds. This wave of fraud is successful because it preys on your trust and your panic. The glitch preyed on greed. The impersonation preys on fear. The malware preys on convenience. Chase isn't going to save you. The federal government is too slow to save you. You have to save yourself. If you have been a victim of the Zelle scam or the check fraud trap, drop your story in the comments. We need to document these cases to force regulatory change. Subscribe now and turn on notifications. The criminals change their tactics every week, but I can keep you ahead of them. Stay safe. And remember, if you are not sure, hang up, call back.